health touches us all. When you look at where the problem in health is, the health costs are rising 2 or 3 times the growth of the GDP. This is an unsustainable situation, and if you look forward, it will become even more unsustainable because people live longer and chronic diseases will be more and more frequent. So the big question that we have to find a solution to is, how can we provide healthcare at affordable cost to a maximum of people? Because we don't want to have a crowding out where healthcare becomes less and less affordable for people. So insurance companies, for me, are at the center of that ecosystem because you have many parties, and the big issue in this ecosystem is today that the interests are not aligned. Everybody is very much in their own silo. It is a very volume-driven system, and therefore efficiency is not optimized, and the system is ripe for disruption. Insurers are the closest aligned to the customer because at the end of the day, they pay the customer's bills, and so it should be both in the interest of the customer and in the interest of the insurer to make sure that the bill comes down. But that only works if we have the engagement of all parties in a way that customers are willing to also participate in reducing the health cost, because a big part of their behavior is also due to this problem, but also that the providers take their space. And it requires a multi-stakeholder approach where I do believe that the insurance companies can play a big role. And this is true for the markets where we have already large ecosystems of health, but it is also true for the developed markets because their insurance companies can help to really smooth the development of these populations. If you think about the power of microinsurance and smoothing out poverty, insurance has a major role in developing societies. I do believe there's 2 fundamental issues. One is, as I said earlier, the engagement of the customer, and secondly is technology. With new technology solutions today, which are mainly digital technologies, you can enter in a very different relationship with the customer and can also offer far more convenience. And if you look today, what is the big pain point? If you are ill, you are trying to get an appointment at a doctor, you get it 3 days or 5 days later. By then you are either fit again or you feel terribly ill. And so what we, for example, have offered very early on is a teleconsultation service where today we have 10 million customers, and for them it's very big convenience. You phone, and in 70% of the cases we can resolve the issue, whether it's at 2 o'clock at night or at 8 o'clock in the morning, on the phone. And I think we need to go much, much further in this area of new technology, e-health, but it does require the engagement of the customer. In order for this to really work out, you always have to have 2 issues. One is you have to have a necessity that something needs to change. And if we go back to what I said earlier, the unsustainable situation of healthcare costs increasing more than the GDP. And secondly, you need to have the convenience aspect and the alignment of interest aspect with the customer. We suffer from a lack of contact. We suffer often from being very bureaucratic, and we suffer from a non-involvement. People are not interested in their retirement, people are not interested in their death. However, if I can accompany people and empower them to live a better life, you have a very different value proposition.